I'm a therapist with focused counseling and therapy on the Eastern Shore. Recently, I had someone come into my office and they were very distraught about something that happened in their life. They had done something that seriously damaged a friendship that was important to them. And I asked them in the discussion, of course, what happened? And one of the things that they said was, I told a lie, and it was so upsetting to me because I am an honest person. And I had to look at them and say, don't really sound like an honest person, because an honest person would not tell a lie. So she looked at me again and said, but I am a kind person. And I am a kind person, so it hurts that this happened and that she feels this way. I looked at her and said, you really don't sound like a kind person, because a kind person would not have done that. She looked at me oddly again and said, yes, but one thing that is really strong with me is that I am an empathetic individual. And because I have that sympathy, that empathy is causing this discomfort that I have. And I looked at her again and said, I'm afraid you don't sound like an empathetic person, because if you were empathetic, you wouldn't have done that in the first place. About this time, she has tears running down her face, and she looks at me and she goes, aren't you supposed to be trying to help me? And then I was like, yes, I understand how you can see it that way, but let's talk about this. I go, I have never met anybody who has never told a lie. I have never met anyone who is kind all the time. And I have never met anyone who is empathetic all the time. And she had built her identity on, I am always honest, I am always kind, I am always empathetic. So what happens is, when one of those fails, such as telling a lie, the identity of that individual starts to crumble, and what they believe in and what makes up themselves and makes up their identity just falls apart, and thus the situation becomes even worse. So we talked about this, and we discussed the idea that she is someone that is always trying to be honest and to tell the truth in situations. Sometimes she's going to fail. That she is going to and tries to be as kind as she can be to those in her life. And sometimes she will fail. She is going to always seek out ways and do what she can to demonstrate empathy to those that she can. Sometimes she will fail. So we talked about this idea that her identity is not this hard set in stone that she had set for herself that caused her such distress, but that she was actually a part of becoming, because that we really never arrive. We're always growing, we're always learning, we are always expanding our minds and our thoughts and our beliefs. At least we should be. So she didn't see this anymore as a failure on her part in regards to herself, but that she had made some mistakes. So she decided to reach out to this friend and ask for forgiveness and seek amends, because she realizes that her identity is not built on these solid pillars that shattered, but that she made a mistake that is part of her becoming and growing as an individual, so she will seek amends. So yes, she started out crying. And at the end of it, though, she was smiling and had a stronger sense of what identity meant. And it went a bit deeper than that, of course, but this is just a short version. And she left the office ready to go find her friend and to make the amends that she wanted to try to repair that relationship. And that was exciting to see. And I bet you that happens. And I bet you that she winds up having a stronger sense of identity than she did before, because she's going to see it as a process and not as a set destination. And very likely, hopefully, the friend that she hurt will forgive her, accept her honesty, and that relationship will be mended. And it is just very important to understand that we are not these set in stone bedrock people, but we should always be growing, expanding, etc. So if you'd like to know more about me or my practice, you can go to my website at jjohnsoncounseling.com, or you can email me, jjohnson@jjohnsoncounseling.com. I thank you for your time, and I hope that you have a great week.